10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Witch Doctor.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Invoker.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Luna. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Fudge.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Needs assassin.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Vengeful spirits.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Terror blade.
Dire team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Shadow Fiend.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Showing me, but you don't have difficulty showing me. We just need to get away. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in places, sing together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me?
Slice and Dice taking on the Horde. You're in this best of one. I'm Breaky CPK, and I'm joined by Tsunami once again as my co-caster. How's it going, Tsunami?
I'm so happy that it's gonna be like a legitimate cast rather than jumping around in Dota 2 all schizophrenically. This is hype. I already feel like the game is that much more legitimate.
Yeah.
I mean, we even have this pause at the beginning. It's just like a real competitive game.
It's a tactical pause to kick things off. How about that?
There we go. There we
go.
There's
apparently a camel ran into the cable of
classic.
Players. That's
classic professional issues.
Understandable. That and the cap being on fire, basically the two go-tos. As far as why we're paused here. No, but yeah, I'm 100% with you. Again, it was fun yesterday, but let's be honest. That's more kind of just having fun rather than seeing some serious Dota 2 action. So today we are starting to get into what's obviously the more upper echelon of teams here in these open qualifiers. And again, we're coming to a point now being that it is the round of 8. So obviously they kicked off a little over an hour ago here with the round of 16 today. And so obviously a sister brother team, whatever you want to say, to the Alliance. And Ake, of course, most noticeably the leader of the team. Pablo, Excalibur, George C, and 3-3 is their full roster right here.
Gork.
Gork? Is it Gork? See, I've heard it's
we...
pronounced George C as well, but okay.
Wait, really? Who told you that one?
I don't know. Somebody in my ear a while ago.
Okay. I'm still going with Gork.
I might be making that up. Yeah, okay. We'll go with Gork. All right. Anyways, this is another team. They're the favorites here, I figure, in this matchup. So I don't know if you have much history casting Horde, but what do you think about them?
They've been... I don't know how like a Wikipedia page up to...
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair to say that Horde would be the favorites in this matchup. I don't know who Slice and Dice beat to get to this point. Obviously, at this stage, all the teams have not had...
Pick up as kind of expected, but yeah, no, it was still overall for the most part pretty one-sided matches. So, I favor Horde here, but hey, we'll see if Slice and Dice is up for the challenge. I'm kind of looking back at their bracket, and nothing really stands out to me as far as anyone
and
they
plus,
defeated. So.
Now we're in stages of BO3s, correct?
No, this is actually the last best of one, and then we go best of.
Go.
Nice try, though.
Just wanted to make sure.
No, but this is best of one, and then, yeah. So after this matchup, we got best of 3s then. starting with the semifinals and then of course the finals. And it is single elimination. There's no second chances here, other than the second qualifier, which starts tomorrow. So if you don't win this one, then hey, you get another chance starting tomorrow to do the grind once again. Again, these teams are coming off playing 5 or 6 games yesterday. And if you want to win today, ultimately, you have to basically play what could possibly be up to like 8 games if the series go the distance. So these qualifiers are not easy, man. Right.
That's so much Dota to have to play.
I know.
And meanwhile, all the like invited teams, even not even the directly invited teams, but like the regionally invited teams are just sitting back and watching, which it's valuable information to get.
The battle
And have to
begins.
face whenever the qualifiers actually roll around.
Absolutely. So definitely, I'm sure the Horde is a team that those regional teams over there are perhaps keeping an eye on, because again, one of the favorites. Anyways, okay, let's talk about the lineups here as we are finally getting into the unpause phase now. Interesting lineup on Slice and Dice. It's a very aggressive one, at least parts of it. You got Spearbreaker with a Pudge. They're up here setting up at the top lane with Vengeful Spirit coming up here as well. So talk about a very aggressive tri-lane. Definitely has kill potential. Then you throw the Invoker and then a good old Terrorblade to finish it off. So what is your idea of this makeup here of the Radiant side?
They can't get away with leaving this Terrorblade solo for long. I mean, I see that they're going for this gank attempt up top. It needs to net something soon because Terrorblade is already getting hella bullied in the bot lane right now.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that, oh god, Darkseer and a Nyx, oh my god, that's not going to be fun for Terrorblade at all. Yeah, no, it's, they're all laying on a first blood because, yeah, as you're saying, and we see there, Terrorblade is absolutely getting bodied. And there's nothing he can do about it. Darkseer alone would be a difficult matchup.
And you see, Gork is like, he knows something's up. There's no way that 2 heroes are just not on the map and you leave a Terrorblade alone, unless if you're really trying something suspicious.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that Gork is playing it really safe right now. He's still wasting S&D's time because this is a rot on Pudge, this is a charge on Spearbreaker. They're just waiting for their moment.
That's actually a good point. Now, I know Rot, obviously, for the rundown is very effective, especially at level 1, but at the same time, could you almost argue that maybe he should have gotten the hook right here to set up this first blood, or is this
If
fine?
it was just him, then maybe, but if you have the Spearbreaker, you can kind of rely on that for initiation.
Okay.
And man, they're still going in on this. At this point, you kind of would wish you had the hook, which thankfully Pudge has almost hit level 2.
Oh.
But at the same time, you look at the VS if you're Horde and you're like, why is this VS solo still level 1 right now?
Yeah, no, this is Slice and Dice again, trying to make an all-in play right here at the beginning, and so far it's not working out to clear this, but we'll see when he hits level 2. I mean, again, it's coming up quickly. In fact, there's the Magic Missile coming out right there. Luna, the charge on top of that, has that Rot activated, but here comes a TP now, and all of a sudden Vengeful's one in trouble. X-Assassin has an Impale, but not going to be able to land it on anyone right there. So there's an immediate response, and just like that, that effort of all that time spent really coming up to nothing right here. So it's safe to say the Horde is off to a pretty good start. Your game number, the only game that is. So, oh, the hook gonna miss. Tickled the butt a little bit, but not close enough.
They're really committing on trying to get kills. I don't know if Pudge is just going to leave after they get this kill, as now they get initiation onto the VS,
Oh,
Impale misses.
Yeah, Impale again. It's not the easiest sometimes, but I feel like you gotta probably land that one. In fact, now Luna's in trouble. This first blood could actually be coming out of the Moon Restoration. It's not enough. Jafar on that Vengeful gets the first blood, and down goes the Witch Doctor. You know what? Who were we to guess and to criticize what they were doing over here? Clearly, they knew it was going to work out.
Clearly. It's not like it hinged all on one missed Impale or anything like that.
No, not at all.
But they get the job done, and now they get to Shrine, and hopefully Spearbreaker and Pudge are going to venture onto other lanes now, because at this point I would say that they've done their job. It's difficult to leave a VS solo now, because you've basically created a defensive tri-lane, so it's possible that Pudge may stick around, but it looks like Spearbreaker's going to charge mid.
Yeah, he's going to be setting up here on a Shadow Fiend Invoker. The Sunstrike coming out. It is going to land, dropping about half life, but here comes that Witch Doctor. And that Coconut going to bounce around just enough to help keep him alive. And obviously the Voodoo Restoration also thrown out from Aki right there to heal on Excalibur just a little bit too. But yeah, the 2-0 start for Slice and Dice again. They have to be feeling good. Now Pudge is setting back up at the top lane. He has a hook angle, but is he going to really go for that? I mean, they could, yeah. I almost say, why not? I mean, he definitely has it. There we go. Trying to sidestep a little bit, but now Gork is in trouble. Out comes the Wave of Terror. That magic missile going to land. The charge even coming out, but it's not even necessary. As Meet Your Bob on that Pudge claims the kill. So lo and behold, this aggressive trial lane, and kind of an aggressive dual lane now, is definitely working out. Obviously, they knew Ake was missing, which...
Bot lane, Darkseer 1v1. Oh!
1v2.
1v2.
Strike.
And the 11th hour. That was a nail biter, but Metamorphosis used in the top lane. Meanwhile, Pudge dives a little bit too aggressively under the tower, and now Pablo? No.
How about this, by the way? So now that the action's kind of dying out a little bit here, how about the lineup that we see on the Horde? We really didn't talk about that too much, but they're running a support Nyx with the Witch Doctor. They got, of course, the off-lane Darkseer. They have Luna carry, and then Shadow Fiend middle lane. But support Nyx is kind of the intriguing thing to me. Something we don't see too often, I feel like. What is your idea with the support Nyx here?
I don't really know at what stage these heroes were drafted at, and so it depends on if this was like Horde's plan to begin with, which rarely I think support Nyx is the plan. But I think this Witch Doctor pick is actually the main thing that's important, because Witch Doctor, like you said, we saw this Radiant team, it's so high aggression, but it's also high melee aggression with the Spearbreaker and Pudge, and Cask is so good at mitigating that sort of like tower diving pressure. And so Meet Your Bob is still hanging around in this top lane, getting a hook on Ake.
Watch the middle lane too, but yeah, Ake gonna get hooked in. That's an easy kill as a result. Back to the middle lane. Sure enough, Excalibur goes down. So yeah, happening pretty much at the exact same time right there. And now Pablo, is he gonna be run down? If we see the 17% coming out, charge gonna be used right there. The Iron Shell from Darkseer trying to maybe scare him off, and actually not nearly enough damage. He's just a little bit too far in the trees, and that will be a turn kill onto the Spearbreaker. So Invoker did not want to commit in for good reason. I mean, he was definitely dying if he actually went for that kill right there. So good back off, but I mean, they did get the kill on the Shadow Fiend just before that, though, so I still think overall Slice and Dice pretty happy.
Yeah. As long as Invoker's not dying, life's good. And if you have to force Excalibur down to 0 souls again, even though actually he's only taken 1 point, now he takes his 2nd point in Necromastery. It actually took a very early point in Presence of the Dark Lord. That's well, I don't really know if that's the trend these days, but I'm pretty sure that's not. And it's also surprising against like an Invoker who you really don't get to close a gap on very often. But it's possible that he got it because he was afraid of Spearbreaker charges, and he was just like, well, if they dive me under tower, I want to make sure that they at least have something to be afraid of.
Yeah, that Presence of the Dark Lord.
Exactly.
Pretty intimidating ability name right there, at least. As far as actually being intimidating, I don't know if it necessarily is, but you see your armor go down a little bit, sure, that could be, I guess, a
3 armor, you never know.
Yeah.
That's Blightstone money, just about.
There you go. Oh, Spearbreaker, by the way, he's not too afraid right now of Excalibur. He's going to just harass him a little bit right here. I mean, he does have a Sunstrike, obviously, assistance ready to go. He's going to put the charge out. If he gets the 17% right here, the Sunstrike coming out, it will land. And look at this. It's going to be another kill on Excalibur. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was really going to work out, but you know what? Who might have doubted him right there? Alucard goes down to the bottom.
Yeah, bot lane, dual Ion Shells. Terrorblade can get assistance from a Sunstrike once, but not twice. It's a hook on the top lane.
Yeah, they're going to get Luna, and she will fall once again. So there's some camera bounces right there between the lanes. Really got to go to all 3 lanes, man. I mean, the action is really being kept up, but that's the lineup here for Slice and Dice, right? It's a very go lineup, and they're most certainly executing that, and it's still going. Witch Doctor, Ake just basically having to accept death right there. He throws out the coconut, but it's not going to really do too much. I mean, maybe set up a turn chance, but nah. Spearbreaker's like, I'm out of here. TP away, but Slice and Dice, man. We talked about the Horde being the favorites here and everything, but this is one of these you go in a best of 1 where maybe catching Horde off guard a little bit.
It's true, and I vividly recall saying on day 1 that it seems like the teams that are winning are the teams that encourage really high early aggression, and well, Slice and Dice's lineup is engineered to do that to a T.
Yeah. I mean, where's the comeback mechanic for Horde? Obviously, Luna's... Oh, charged by the bottom lane, by the way. Oh, nice back cube at the last second. That was well played by Darkseer. But, I mean, as far as the net worth, let's take a quick glance at that. I mean, Darkseer, speaking of him, he's up there. But both Shadow Fiend and Luna are struggling.
Invoker getting bounced.
Is he dead? Karate Kid? Oh, push back right there with the deafening blast. And out comes the Ghost Walk, and he's going to land the random impale, not going to land. And now Pablo in trouble for committing. Meanwhile, charge in the background. Witch Doctor going to be charged on right there. Yeah, kind of trying to watch both sides of the fight. Pablo being ran down by the Rot.
Radiant's
But this
bottom
spiked
tower
Carapace
is
will
under
stun him
attack.
by the distance. Another hook coming up. No, he doesn't have the mana for it, actually.
Terrorblade wants to go, but he's getting hassled by the Shadow Fiend in the meantime. Raindrop saving his life.
Oh, jeez. They are going to catch him, though. Shadow Fiend running over. No Rucking, though. He does have some raises, however. And that will be at least a turn kill on a Spear Breaker. Man, do we have action this game. 10 to 4. The Sunder comes out, and Excalibur is going to fall. Sunstrike not even necessary. Alucard going back in, says, take my life. And ends up getting the kill on the Shadow Fiend right there. So well played. 11 to 4 lead now for Slice and Dice.
This is very impressive. It's not often that you see high aggression pulled off this well, because every single lane is getting some of the love. It's not like one lane is just getting relentlessly bullied, and this is part of the reason why Excalibur basically left the middle lane. At a certain point, he considered himself to be too vulnerable because the Spearbreaker just got such a good start. This Pudge was basically off the map, is now in the top lane. Witch Doctor getting bashed, getting killed.
Lamb just facing to the ground right there, and yeah.
Pudge is invis.
Ooh,
Oh.
that hook, again, tickling the butt, but he's going to be fine for now.
Bot lane.
Bottom lane, what? I'm trying, guys, I swear. This game.
I think the best part of the fact that this is in the real lobby now is I can see your little
Oh, the camera, yeah.
AoE. Yeah, I can see the AoE on your camera like flying around the minimap constantly.
I'm trying, man. It's just all over the place. I
You
mean,
are trying.
Radiant's
12 hero kills for
bottom
one
It's
tower
early.
is
they're averaging more than a hero kill per minute. I mean, again, that's pretty absurd. But again, that's speaking to the lineup. Now, at least the bottom tower push is successful right there. And again, this Darkseer is getting a lot of farm. Like, how much impact can a Darkseer have, though? Is this going to be a really big deal, you feel like, for the Horde, or is it not going to be that scary?
Oh, honestly, I think Darkseer is going to be the biggest deal. He has a mech completed already. This was the disadvantage of sending Terrorblade 1v1 against a Darkseer, is that this Darkseer is going to get whatever he wants. And having a 10-minute mech is so useful for this lineup right now as they find Spearbreaker. But Pablo has no stun in range.
Tried to vacuum in right there, but yeah, unable to do so. And good job by Spearbreaker, able to run away in time. Terrorblade's making his way over, actually. Doesn't have Metamorphosis, though. He does have Sunder. Good try to make
Pablo's
another
6,
play.
so he has a Vendetta.
Oh, he's gotten all this out. They don't have vision detection, but they do have a charge on a Gork in the background.
has
There's an
Eclipse.
stun on a Darkseer. Eclipse is going to be popped, and actually Spearbreaker feeling the beams right there into the face. Ake has the heal coming up. He's taking a lot of damage, though. The cold snap being used from Invoker. Not enough for the kill. The meatball rolling around. The Centaur actually going to run him down and successfully claim that kill, but now 3-3 in the background on Darkseer. He's going to surge on out of there. Will he get hooked? Those the question. It's so difficult to hook that target, obviously. But now Terrorblade running him down. Excalibur, meanwhile, gets to pick up on Jafar in the background. Watching this Darkseer, though, still the Iron Gel Centaur stomp. Can he maybe get that off? It's not even necessary. As, yeah, the Sunder sets up the easy kill in the end on the Darkseer. At least Gork's like, I'm going to take your Centaur.
The Karate Kid fighting with Pablo.
Spiked Carapace is up. Excalibur is nearby. Again, he doesn't have that Requiem, but man, if he hits level 10 right here, could channel that up and maybe could be pretty big. There's a hook back in on a Pablo. Here comes that Ake, though. The food and restoration just going to be enough of a heal. And then turn on to meet your Bob. He goes down. Pablo was picked up, by the way, by Spearbreaker back here, as he did use another strike to secure it. Now he's going to charge on out. Whew, another crazy fight breaking out. I don't even know who came out on top, really. I mean, it was a 3-for-3 exchange right there.
Yeah, that's actually relatively even. I'd say Dire Team came out slightly ahead because neither the Luna nor the Shadow Fiend died at any point, whereas the Vengeful did die for the Radiant team. Invoker and Terrorblade survived, though, so still relatively even, but Vengeful's pretty farmed, so her going down is kind of valuable.
Yeah. Invoker continuing to have a good time, though, here in the middle lane with that Hannah Midas, level 12, just around the corner, and has the axe in the works. Well in the works of about 1,500. But obviously, yeah, Vengeful Spirit with that Helm of the Dominator, clearly making use of it as Nyx. No, that's an illusion. Right there, but realizing what it is and wants to scout further. Invoker would be a prime kill, but he's not going to be doing that himself, so. Just scout and then back off right here. But how is Luna doing? She has her own Helm of the Dominator, but yeah, really is struggling right here in this game. And that's gotta be a little worrisome for the Horde. Are you worried for them, or you feel that he can recover just fine?
Luna can recover. She's basically trying to mirror Vengeful right now because Vengeful completed that Helm, pushed out the top tier 1, and then just started participating in fights. And Luna finds it necessary to also do the same thing. It's really if your team can rely without you, then Luna would prefer to farm, obviously, but with this level of aggression, Luna needs to participate in all these fights.
Yeah. Oh, that cast bouncing around, Invoker getting caught. The mana burn on top of that, so harassing him quite a
Pablo
bit.
used Impale on the creep wave.
Okay. Oh, Luna gets hooked in. That's not good. Cork in trouble right here. Does have the Eclipse, but out comes the Meatball. The wall combo on the ledge. Perfect spot. And here comes the Tornado attacks. Down goes Luna. But at what cost? The Requiem of Soul soaring in the air. And that's a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of the Horde. You know what? They lose Luna, but they have the last laugh. What a combo from Darkseer on the ledge perfectly. Lining up right there.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I always had faith in my boy, 33. That Darkseer combination was invaluable, being able to catch all these heroes, and Terriblade's actually coming in, metamorphed, so they want to fight this.
Yeah, they definitely do. Vacuum in, though. The swap in on Ake, however, puts him in that vulnerable spot and will be enough to take him out. So they only get the kill to support. They will save the tower on top of that, so definitely worth porting in and saving the life. But obviously, yeah, Terrorblade was not there in the previous fight, definitely worth pointing out. Honestly, it could have been for the worst, because he probably too would have got caught in that vacuum combo. True. Taken out. So they will take out a tower in response, though. A good response by Slice and Dice, despite what just happened right there.
Yeah, this Terrorblade is still being able to... I'm surprised that he was able to get such a good laning phase and has been able to transition so well in bot lane. Meanwhile, Invis Spirit Breaker gets exploded.
That was the Shadow Fiend. Yeah, he's the Shadow Blade.
Oh yeah, Shadow Fiend. Yeah, that's correct.
The Shadow Blade was used right there, but unfortunately there's this little thing called a Sentry Ward. For those that don't know, it detects Invis units. And Shadow Fiend was not expecting that to be there, so that was a great catch onto him, and yeah, that's going to slow him down. Again, he's kind of been at least... now, Shadow Fiend, obviously when it comes to recovery, even though he had maybe a little bit of a tough start, Hero definitely will recover. And we have seen that, but anytime you can get the kill on him is going to be absolutely that much bigger as a result from Slice and Dice right here, really keeping him in check.
Yeah, especially because neither the Luna nor the Shadow Fiend are like playing dedicated farmers right now. Both of them are participating in a lot of fights, both of them are very active early on, and so getting kills on either of them still slows everything down as VS finds a Nyx Assassin Invis, but to do anything.
Yeah, can't really do much with that. Nyx is almost got that Blink Dagger finish, though, and that's going to help with when it comes to initiation, of course, and Darkseer finishing one of his own. So those are going to be some key items here, no doubt, coming out for the Horde that they're relying on. But where does Shadow Fiend? He's going straight Silver Edge. What do you think about that? Committing straight for it.
The break is not really that useful this game, in my opinion. You can break the Vengeance Aura of VS, so that's marginally useful, and obviously the damage reduction in general. But I think Terrorblade is the bigger concern, and Silver Edge against Terrorblade isn't really that valuable, because even if you break the main Terrorblade, all of his illusions will still be dealing the normal amount of damage based on how the spell scales. Is now Darkseer in the bot lane.
Getting caught here. Yes, he is. Getting pulled back in. Another strike. Finishes the job on Jim right here. But yeah, Shadow Fiend, he's looking for an opening now. Does have that Requiem to do so, but he needs a lockdown onto Spirit Breaker in, which Doctor just cannot get close enough. So he'll open with auto attacks, and the Rage is coming out and actually will secure the kill as a result. So yeah, I really want to be patient right there. Now, of course, the issue. But yeah, again, according to the queue up right here, he is committed towards getting that Silver Edge.
Yeah, I find that surprising. But the item does tank you up a little bit. As you can see, it builds out of an Ultimate Orb. And this Shadow Fiend does need to get more HP. I feel like there are better choices, but we'll see what he does with it.
Yeah. Well, he is again picking up some good farm as the top lane. Jafar on that Vengeful going to be found, but Nyx is like, nah, I don't want to commit right here. He'll Blink Dagger away and help protect Luna once again. But man, Luna, is she really this under-farmed? I mean, she only has a Helm of the Dominator, still 1,300 gold saved up, but is there nothing on the courier really? Yeah, she really is just struggling, man.
The problem is she can't show up to any lane, because as soon as she does, she's gonna get charged, and even if she stays in her jungle, she gets charged.
I was gonna say, this ain't a lane. Jungle right here. Now, Sunstrike's gonna miss, but it just doesn't matter. The Alpha Wolf, in fact, I think finishing him off, but it might come at a cost for Vengeful at least. And he's gonna kind of stand his ground somewhat, but there's no chance he's winning this, and will eventually be killed off, obviously. Spirit Breaker, can he actually escape is now the question. He does have the Hand of Midas. By the way, he purchased Jilly to help his farm and get that attack speed up, but he will get pulled in by the vacuum. So these Blink Daggers, I guess Darkseer didn't have his just yet, but Blink Daggers are going to start having a big influence, though. the usual.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And poor Spirit Breaker. Normally in those situations, you like look across the map and you want to charge something that you can, get out of the situation. But all the enemy units that were visible were in the opposite direction, so he'd have to charge straight into the enemy team. And as we can see, Cask, Vacuum, Impale, and Lucent Beam are all great solutions for interrupting a charge.
Terrorblade. Let's kind of focus on the other side a little bit right now. So obviously this overall team, again, it goes back to being very aggressive. They kind of won that early game. They did what they were supposed to. Now phase 2 of the strategy is make sure to get that early farm on Terrorblade and have him be able to take over the game. He's going to Manta style here. I mean, does that make sense to you, of course? And then where do you expect to follow from there?
Yeah, Manta style is definitely the best choice. Aside from being the standard Terrorblade choice, Horde doesn't really have the best wave clear, or rather, they don't have the best AoE to clear out a bunch of units. And what AoE they do have is valuable. Like, Death Ward isn't AoE, but it's purely sync target, and so it's not going to be able to deal with illusions. Lucent Eclipse on Luna, it's just going to get soaked up by all these illusions, and Terrorblade's perfectly okay sacrificing some units like that to make sure that they win the team fight. Yeah. So as soon as they start pushing, Horde doesn't really have very many answers to get rid of all these units.
You see Invoker here too, and again, I know when the talent trees first came out, we were seeing the +1 Force Spirit summon talent, and I can't honestly suggest for sure if that's still kind of been a thing, or but with this Invoker at least going to 30% XP gain instead of another Force
Pudge
Spirit.
Getting spotted.
Pudge is going to be caught out right
Vacuum?
here. Finally going to be used. Yeah, I didn't want to use it if you didn't have to, I guess, but use it at the last second and secure that kill. And the tower. Oh, that's awkward. Man, he got some extra farm.
But he didn't even kill the siege creep.
Oh, that's... Sometimes you just hit R when you don't want to. Moments like that where I kind of feel bad that I actually caught that on camera.
It's okay. It's even worse whenever we don't see it and then we're like, why is Eclipse on cooldown?
Yeah.
Did we miss a kill?
Well, wait, what happened? But yeah, so I was suggesting though, I mean, I don't know if you're aware of it, but like the talent tree choice by Invoker getting that XP gain.
It's dealer's choice. Okay. In my opinion, I've always been a big fan of the XP gain when you go Midas, which seems to be like literally always, because it boosts the Midas's XP gain. So it seems counterintuitive to go for the Midas and then not take the talent that makes the Midas even better.
Yeah.
So in most situations, I prefer the XP gain. The dual Force Spirits are nice, especially like I said, they don't have the best way of clearing units on Horde, and Cold Snap is going to be really irritating for this Spirit or Shadow Fiend who hasn't gone to BKB yet. It's going to be really irritating for this Luna who hasn't gone to BKB yet, but either way, I think that this Invoker needs to...
You just got a little lower for you, by the way. It's actually middle lane. They are going to be swapped in right there to get the kill onto Luna. Sorry, guys, getting a little bit distracted, but we do have a charge now coming up from Spirit Breaker. Not going to connect, however, but he's in a pretty vulnerable spot. But by vulnerable, he still wants to make some plays. You obviously have the Invis Shadow Fiend nearby. There's that coming. No, the vacuum. No wall, though. The stop for the Centaur coming out, but this is going to be enough follow-up. Karate Kid, the Coast Block ain't enough. He will go down right there. The Maledict in the midst of it as well. Who needs a wall when you have the Maledict and a stomp on top of that? And now Alucard, he is on the run, limping away.
Sunder.
This Mumber
better be careful.
Help him out right here, but yeah, you're right. He does have Sunder. So if Shadowfiend goes for an opening, he is, but actually it will be enough damage for the kill first. So 4-for-1 exchange. That all started with Luna getting picked up, but you know what? It's almost like as if they're using Luna as bait right here.
Yeah, no, this is deja vu all over again.
Yeah,
that's what it was. You know, they saw. She's gonna do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, 33 is on point. The Darkseer, so initiation is coming in from a mile away and very well coordinated with the Nyx Assassin as well to vacuum, 3-man impale, double raises, and then the wall used.
You know, on top of that, I love the use of that Centaur that they had right there. I think that was actually had to be Luna, right, with their Helm of the Dominator. Perhaps a controller, maybe giving control to somebody else. But the point is, it did a great job of being a nice synergy on top of the vacuum in, with that stomp and again all the follow up in general. So very well played by Horde right there, and catching up in the hero kills. I mean, still slight lead, but obviously that only means so much. As that net worth dipping in their favor now. Good news for them. Point booster picked up by Nyx, by the way.
Yeah, he's gonna need to go ag. That's one of the best solutions for making sure that they can clear waves. Oh, Nyx finds the Pudge, but misses the impale.
Yeah, having difficulty landing some of these impales right here, but oh, they will love a kill on Terrorblade.
They're still looking for Terrorblade, as Terrorblade does not have any way out. His TP is in his backpack.
Oh no.
Unless if he just runs.
He does have Sunder. They're going to back him just from the
got him.
trees. They didn't catch him, though. And maybe Sunder here make a play. I mean, there's no support coming in, though. Yeah, there's just no point.
He would have just ruined one of the Horde's days, but he wouldn't have survived regardless and doesn't get it off. And so now the push is going to continue, but this is really smart positioning by SND to go for a push of their own, because I don't really think Horde is interested in defending it. They would be giving up too much control. Dead.
Yeah, gonna make their way over here, porting in Shadow Phoenix Excalibur, of course, coming in with that Silver Edge now. Gonna open actually on a Pudge. And a couple of auto attacks to raids. Another one. It's not gonna be enough damage, but Darkseid's like, I got this, don't worry. Vacuum
Nice
also
vacuum.
gets Vengeful. He swaps the Spear Breaker. He's like, I wanna live. I don't care about you. No, he knows that Spear Breaker has a better way of perhaps getting out of there. It's actually great coordination on the part of Slice and Dice, and a deafening blast in the face with the meteor doing plenty of damage, actually. Shadow Fiend still feeling confident, though. Again, he has the Aegis, Sunstrike in the background. Will it Darkseid? We're not enough for the kill. Shadow Fiend, meanwhile, being stun locked down in the background, but Spear Breaker, he's a little too far up, and he will be picked up as a result. The Excalibur clearly not worried right here with that Aegis. Nice vacuum over the ledge on Jafar, playing that Vengeful, but not enough follow-up damage this time around, and they actually will turn on the Darks here. And down goes the Shadow Fiend, so maybe, just maybe, they overstepped their boundaries a little bit right here. In fact, Shadow Fiend, can he make his way to detection?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
All the supports are dead. Pudge is emerging out of the fountain, but he goes to the shrine, so he may pick him off on the backside.
Oh, Nick's going to try to help with that, though. The sentry goes down. They see him now. Can they catch up to him? Yes, they can. Out comes the swap. He's like, screw it. Might as well Requiem in the process. But he will end up falling. Doesn't take anybody with him. And, yeah, I mean, the Horde, you look at a secondary tower even still here. They were diving into the base. So I feel like they only have themselves to blame there.
True. But it was a really smart move by the Pudge to go for that Shrine TP as opposed to going to the mid lane. Not only would the mid lane TP of teammates had TP to it, but it was catching the escape route and basically forced SF into having to use his 10-second BKB and still dying and not getting any kills. And also, freaking Reflection is destroying the Dire team right now, because all these illusions that Terrorblade creates, they get Presence of the Dark Lord, they get Lucent Lunar Blessing, and they also get the Moonglaves. And so that's so many auras. Actually, they get even more, because if they get the Darkseer, they also get the Mech aura as well. And so this is like a really dream lineup for a Terrorblade to have to go up against, because these enemy team, the Horde wants to be able to bring all 5 heroes into a fight, and you can't really wait for Reflection to be used before you commit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's no doubt feeling pretty comfortable with that situation and that aspect of the game here, and he has about 13,000 net worth on top of that, which obviously is basically up there tied with the Shadow Fiend on the other side for tops in the game at this point. So Alucard has continued to do very well, and that BKB is just around the corner, about 300 or so gold before he will have that finished. As off to the side, they're going to be smoking as a team. Everyone but Luna smoking right here and try to look for an opportunity, but a lot of lines being drawn all over the place on either side. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, but they want to maybe wrap around to the top. But yeah, they see that the push isn't happening anymore, so that secondary tower is pretty vulnerable, but not low enough for the Radiant side to die for it by any means.
Oh, that was smart. This Invoker, well, yeah, actually that was... Wait, never mind. It's only kind of smart. He Sunstrike the top rune, and he saw that it wasn't there. But he doesn't have any vision of the bot rune, so really he can't confirm that someone took it. Otherwise, it would be a great way to be like, oh man, someone smoked.
Unless they saw it just before that, which I think is possible. Because I think somebody was in the area, might have saw it for a split second, and then it was disappeared. So yeah, no, I still think, yeah, they're definitely the great ideas you're getting at. Might as well use the cooldown right there, so... Clearly they had some kind of information, though, because they avoided that smoking like it was the plague right there, so...
And now Spearbreaker has a gem, so they're going to be able to start dismantling the Vision of Dire team and maybe go for a smoke play of their own. Spearbreaker has one backpacked, but Invoker and Terrorblade are on the bot lane farming, so not going to be able to do much.
Nyx Assassin, again, would love to finish that Axe, and about 700 gold before he has it, actually, so it is coming up pretty nicely here. Darkseer going the Crimson Guard, by the way. This isn't an everyday item we see, but does bring it some nice support utility to the team. And you know, there was that buff that even was applied more recently, where it now applies to towers on top of that if you happen to be defending a siege attempt, so... You like the Crimson Guard choice, though?
Yeah, especially against a Terrorblade. It helps because all illusion units really get harmed by Crimson Guard. PL, like, the most, because all of PL's illusions, like, do very little damage to begin with, and then it all gets reduced because Crimson Guard doesn't care what type of unit it is. And so it's really good at making sure your supports can survive, because this Witch Doctor is not very survivable. He's working on a Glimmer Cape, but, like, Slice and Dice that are already very well equipped to deal with any invis, thanks to this Shadow Fiend going for a Silver Edge of his own. And so, right now, Ake is food if he is exposed. And so Crimson Guard, you know, it can help him survive. It can maybe help him get a few more seconds on a Death Ward channel.
Regeneration.
Bottom lane. They're trying to take out the secondary tower. Looks like almost setting up as if they're expecting somebody to be trying to defend it, but not the case. So they will instead go right for the tower, and they do see their top secondary is going to be taking some damage here in the near future, and they will be losing that one. Now there is still a bottom secondary for the Horde right here, as far as what they have up, but now it's a game of chicken right here. Who's going to react to the other? Pablo's already porting back, but obviously Slice and Dice also has several heroes porting back. So it seems like they're both going to really react to each other, and in the end, they will continue to avoid fighting for the time being. So talk about a complete change of pace to this game. I see what guys you kind of expected though, really, but.
True. Both teams need to play very safe because Horde is afraid of Spirit Breaker, Initiation, and Pudge Hooks, but Slice and Dice is afraid of these Blink Dagger initiations from the Darkseer and the Nyx Assassin, so both teams don't really feel safe, like being like, okay, well, we'll just leave the Terrorblade behind, or we'll just leave the Luna behind and the rest of us will go back, because that lone target will almost certainly get picked.
Are they smoking up right here? They sure are. All
Man,
five
Horde
of
are
them.
burning through their smokes. I think this is their last one for a while.
Oh, and it might work out this time, Jafar. He is farming the jungle a little bit. He's starting to run back away now, so probably not.
The entire team has no vision. This gem on Spearbreaker has eliminated most sources of information for the Dire team right now, so they're going uphill. Still have no idea where anyone is, though.
Yeah, they're really just guessing, but so this is where you got to give credit, no doubt, to Slice and Dice. As you mentioned, the Horde has really been burning through these smokes, and they really have not been able to get the opportunity to come through successfully with any in the last at least like 5 minutes or so. So yeah, very good job on their part. Invoker, by the way, also he's level 22. Very important to know because of course that's where the level 25 talent's getting that much closer of what is probably the AoE deafening blast. I know the tornado cooldown is not necessarily the worst choice ever, but blast is.
In that last SEA game, the Bizarre game, I'm pretty sure the Invoker went the tornado cooldown, and it was hilarious. Like literally 50% of a siege, the Radiant team was just being sent up into the air. It was pretty amusing. It didn't work as we saw, but still hilarious.
No, we have seen it before, and I feel like it's if your team's behind and if you're getting pushed on, then maybe. And so I guess you could argue this game there is potential for that, but this feels like a little too even of a game to maybe feel like you have to resort to something as far as counter pushing, such as that tornado spam. But no, I'm with you. It definitely has its reasons for going, but. Yeah, we definitely Glass also really good. Terrorblade also has got to be up there. Okay, well he's only level 19, so still going to be able to fit. But I was kind of looking at his. I don't even know what you'd get that. God, that makes it a 10-second cooldown on Sunder. That's actually pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, but I pretty much always see the stats.
Okay.
Most of the time, like between one Sunder, if you haven't already killed the rest of the enemy team, then chances are your team is dead. So even if you can just Sunder yourself silly, you're still probably going to lose the fight.
Yeah. Anyone else worth noticing? I guess Vengeful's level 20. It's at level 20 plus 65 damage talent picked up. That's actually pretty big in itself. Getting that right there for the Vengeful, who's obviously playing that core role. So the MKB also coming up for the Vengeful. It's going to be a while, but he has that queued up at least.
Yeah, eventually it's going to be a while, but this Terrorblade is making good progress on his MKB, which is good, because being able to kill this Shadow Fiend is very important right now, because Luna is still kind of behind, only has this BKB completed, and that's, again, not really damage items on the mid lane. Jafar.
They swap him in right there. Spike's Carapace kind of stalling a little bit, and actually going to hide with that axe effect. The hook going to miss as a result. And now the BKB Excalibur, he's chasing them down, but no turn kills just yet. So this BKB, I don't want to say it's wasted, but in essence, it's obviously they don't really get anything out of it, and it's down to 8 seconds now. So
Yeah, they trade, because Vengeful used her 10 second as well, so
Okay.
turnabout's fair play.
Terribly trying to continue to keep information going as well as harass a little bit, but trying to use here from the Horde, and they're going to reset.
I think both teams know that Roche is up, and so neither of them are feeling comfortable to leave this area. And since no Raxes are taken, there's no pressure being created elsewhere on the map. Luna's sending illusions, Terrorblade sending illusions, but the meat of the teams are still all in the same lane. As they get the vision on the Darkseer.
Can they really chase him down though with that surge? And there's a blink dagger. Hey, that's a nice impale. Yeah, he's had struggle landing. It's going to be a lot more simple ones, but that's a pretty difficult one right there, actually. So, but helping to keep Darkseer alive. He might have been fine anyways, but again, it still looked pretty. But
Siege Creep comes in. It's like, hey guys, what's going on in the pit? Oh, you guys are taking it? All right.
Crap. I'm dead.
This is going down so fast. The wave of terror drops down the armor so substantially, and I don't think the Dire team's going to come fast enough.
Nope, Alucard picks up the Aegis. The Crimson Guard is popped, but Horde's like, do we really want to fight now right as they get the Aegis? Obviously, that could be the worst timing, so Horde is going to be patient enough and fall back, realizing to cut their losses and not overcommit right there. I like that choice again. I feel like we've seen so many times where teams, they will get caught up in the moment. They'd be like, oh crap, it just died. Well, let's go in now. It's like, no, they just got the Aegis. That's giving them the advantage. You realize this, right? Unless you're confident you can catch them right in the pit, clumped up, obviously, then you really shouldn't be going in. And clearly the case there for the Horde. So they do fall back and, like I said, cut their losses.
Yeah, to an extent, it's sometimes how big of a commitment was it for the team that took Roche? Like, did they have to use any important cooldowns? Like, did they have to use Metamorphosis? Which they did, and it only now comes down, but you don't really know that. And then you have to be like, well, can we defend a high ground siege against Aegis? So there are a lot of factors that come into play. I think it was the right decision to disengage. I think Horde now has what it takes to defend high ground. This Luna doesn't have a Manta style yet, and it's in fact going for an AC. So that will kind of harm their high ground defense, because you can't just like have a bunch of glaives bouncing around to eliminate all these Terrorblade illusions, but still, I think that they can do it.
Again, the Horde is being the ones a little more aggressive right now, scouting through the Radiant jungle, but once again, not able to really find anyone for the time being at least. So steal their Ancients, meanwhile, Raze is being used by Excalibur there, trying to finish his own Satanic. As you see, that's queued up, which will definitely beef up that survivability presence, of course. Boker, 23.5 now, so getting very close to, again, a deafening blast. But what is it? I mean, what are we waiting on here? Because you have the Aegis, obviously, on Terrorblade. Is he going to try to finish the Eye of Scotty first, maybe, before they really push right here?
I don't think they have the time for that. The other option is waiting for VS to finish her MKB, but that's also, like, a long ways away. Invoker, he's a ways away from his Scythe. Pudge, he's actually didn't go for an Aether Lens at all. He's going to be going for a Pipe, which I think is a fairly good choice. It makes what little magic damage Horde have pretty much irrelevant. It'll make Requiem pretty much irrelevant, so that'll help out. Spirit Breaker, well, he's basically like a 5 position right now, so he has a BKB queued up, and he's actually surprisingly close to it, but I think that they should just push. Metamorphosis is up. Yeah, I don't think that Slice and Dice should waste too much more time.
Oh, double damage rune may help that cause. Picked up right there by Terrorblade, so he's going to send out some illusions at least, but again, still no idea of actually grouping up or anything like that. The bottom lane Spirit Breaker maybe getting a little too comfortable by himself. And yeah, that's going to be a quick jump. Was that almost going to be a cliff? But no, just Elusive Beam coming out. And secures that kill. Tornado in the air, though, for Darkseer. The EMP is going to connect, but dropping him about half mana right there.
That was a gem loss as well. And so now Horde is going to be able to reclaim all this map control that they've been losing. Even though they're the team that doesn't have the Aegis, right now Slice and Dice just doesn't feel confident right now for some reason.
Yeah. No, they are going to sit in their base, obviously, for the time being, but the Horde is not feeling confident enough either, but perhaps going to use that gem, as you're talking about, to really try to gain control of the map once again, and then kind of
Yeah,
reset,
I mean,
but
they have no incentive to push into, like, they could probably take this last tier 1 on the top lane. That should be free, but really, whenever you're going into a team with the Aegis, there's no good.
or in this pause right here, I was kind of looking at some of the other matches, and again, PD Gaming, they're already in the semifinal. And then again, the winner of this will play Prodota Gaming, the other semifinals. So one of these 4 teams will be representing Europe in the, will be joining the other European teams even in the regional qualifiers. So that's what we're coming down to.
So does every single region have 2 qualifiers, or does some of them only have? I act
How
like I'm so
dare
much
you.
higher above than all these players, but really, I would have been knocked out in like the round of 2024 for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I would have made it probably to the quarterfinals, but
I believe it.
stop there, perhaps, because that would have been living the 3K life.
Yo, did you play any during the solo matchmaking experiments?
I did it because
this
I
weekend?
was traveling and everything, obviously getting ready for this event, so I didn't really have the most time to be playing here, unfortunately. But what did you? I mean,
No, I stray away from most of that.
Okay.
I'm lucky enough to have a 5 stack that I have the company of pretty much most of the time that I play.
yeah. I honestly usually find myself solo queuing for the most part. I actually don't mind the solo queue experience usually. It's just there are those occasional games where you just get those assholes that
Yeah.
kind of makes you wonder what you're doing. You kind of just get upset about the game, and then the game finishes, and you're like, all right, let's queue for another one. Drug, man.
It's a vicious cycle.
The drug, that's Dota. All right, so apparently we're in a restroom break right place. So, and again, our following round will start being a best of 3 on top of that. So, at this point, well, it's safe to say we'll probably follow the winner of this versus Prodota the next round. So definitely stick around. Again, continuing coverage here of the Kiev Major Open Qualifier action. I'm Breaking CPK, joined by Tsunami here. That's my co-caster. And want to thank you once again for tuning into our Beyond the Summit coverage. All right, here we are to the pause, though. Excalibur. That's Satanic. It is actually just about finished. So, again, a key item that I don't think it's a very scary item, but it's definitely obviously going to help him in the fights coming up.
Yeah, I mean, if there ever is a fight, there's only 1 more minute left. S&D like did nothing with it, and that seems strange to me because they have all the openings necessary. You're giving Horde time to complete items, like you said. The Satanic is now almost completed for Excalibur, and that's a fairly important item. Granted, this Invoker is not yet level 25, he's level 24, so AoE Deafening Blast still not on the table yet, but a Deafening Blast period will make life very unpleasant for this Shadow Fiend.
40 minutes in. Yep, Darkseer. He's working on his Refresher Orb, so the double wall be happening right here. And on top of that, you know, things like the double Shivas could be fun. Obviously, he has now, so potentially be pretty powerful. You got Spirit Breaker finishing that BKB, as they're getting at earlier. So you're talking about the idea they shouldn't maybe really wait for the Eye of Scotty, but in the end, that's what's definitely going to be happening here for Alucard, is the Aegis will despawn there.
Yeah, but now Horde isn't afraid. Like, the Aegis is down. In my opinion, they should still wait because Gork has a lot of room to grow still. He's working on this Manta style, and it looks like he has most of it completed. I don't know where it is. No, never mind. I don't know.
But As far as the Manta goes?
Yeah, because like in his quick bite, he has like
Huh.
a percentage of a Manta. He has the Yasha, but like I don't know why you wouldn't just queue up the whole Manta.
Yeah, that is kind of weird actually. He has 5,000 gold saved up, so.
Yeah, so I was like, does he have the ulti orb on the courier or something? But no, he just has the Yasha.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere.
Okay, there we go. He's buying the whole thing. Okay, so now I'd say now's the time to go for Horde. The Aegis is down. You have the gem that you stole from Spirit Breaker, so you have relatively good map control. They haven't really invaded the Radiant side too much, but it's on Pablo right now, so he can just go around Vendetta and discover the intel for his team.
Middle lane Horde, you got Vendetta. Speaking of that from Nyx. Yep, he's scouting things out with that gem as mentioned. And gonna see if he can find any kind of vision here, but as we notice, probably not going to be the case. However, could scout them out here at the top lane, and that's where things could get extra interesting. As Invoker, he's level 24, almost at level 25 again, so we're going to find out exactly what he goes for, but yeah, no matter which talent he gets right there, definitely going to be a nice amp as far as helping his cause. But Shadow Fiend's actually caught up quite a bit, and he's level 24 himself, speaking of that, with the Satanic Finish now. Again, for him, I feel like the 150 attack range is pretty much the go-to. The raise cooldown doesn't seem as potent, because it's that argument at this point of the game where you're really relying on that magic damage spam.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an SF go for the raise, and especially this game. Pudge ended up not completing the pipe, but regardless, you need to be right-clicking. You can't be raising.
Yeah.
It would be nice to get rid of Terrorblade Illusions, but again, like Shadow Fiend deals so much damage at this point that you're still just better off just right-clicking them down. He doesn't have an MKB though, but at the same time, Terrorblade has not gone for any evasion, so no big deal.
See a line being drawn right up towards the top. I don't know if that's just is that the map they want to claim or whatnot, but they're kind of moving together as if they're maybe going to be smoking right here, but got one on Pudge currently. Want to be coming out with that. I don't think that they would be seen if they choose to. Bottom lane? Okay, somebody was there that knew.
Yeah, no, Pablo briefly Vendetta to Forge Spirit and then promptly Blink TP'd out, and everyone in S&D was like, oh, did you see that?
Yeah, something's happening in this game. Down goes the Forge Spirit. Oh, there's only action in the last 10 minutes.
I mean, they had the opportunity to control the pace, and they let it slip from their hands. So I have no pity for them.
How dare they? Yeah, no, it's for people that may just be tuning in these last like 10 minutes or so. They see even kind of coming out a little bit. It's like, you know, the sleeping face and stuff. Like, what a boring game. Like, well. I mean, the first 15-20 minutes, it was pretty intense, and it's actually definitely favoring Slice and Dice quite a bit as far as the heavy action was going. But we are in that phase. You know, I mean, you have a Terror Blade versus a Luna, essentially. That's kind of how it sets up to be as the game picks up, of course. A lot of avoiding going on. Level 25, and look at that. He did go the Tornado cooldown.
Well, I'll be damned. Okay. That's also surprising to me because he doesn't have an Octarine yet. And so usually whenever I do see the Tornado cooldown, it's on top of an Octarine, so it's like a super low cooldown.
Oh, good point.
But man, they're chunking this tower.
They are. Terrorblade in the front lines, of course, doing that with the illusions and all the stats of his. It's obviously doing plenty of damage. Not enough to be dropping it, but get it down to about half-life. However, they're going to fall back for the time being, so the split push game has really taken off now. Not a whole lot of fighting again, but you got to figure, yeah, Roshan's up in a very, very short amount of time here. And Spear Breaker, he's sitting in the Roshan pit expecting that to be the case here. Oh, he leaves it right as it's about to respawn, too. Awkward.
Yeah, probably send an illusion in, but right now there's a smoke in from Horde.
Yeah, this is the closest they've been in a long time. Okay, yeah, Roshan, no surprise, he's the one that's going to encourage some action here. And the hook on Witch Doctor to start it. Now, it's not the biggest target, but...
Are you kidding me? That wasn't even an Aether Lens hook. That's ridiculous.
Max distance, man. Yeah, he's been playing this Pudge pretty well, for sure.
Yeah, he is.
Landing some solid hooks here. Meet your Bob.
Still not quite enough to guarantee the Roche. They'll go in for it, but they still need to be very careful.
This is vengeful, though. Yeah, we really can't forget about him. There's a jump in. The vacuum. No wall, though. Gets some BKBs to be used, including Caliber. Bunny gets hooked back in, actually. 1 sec. Yeah, no, it's the last 2 needs an excellent damage. In the back on the Terrorblade illusions are real. The FPS drop coming out. That Satanic is keeping Shadowfiend alive for the time being. The blade mill needs to be careful about that, though. As Invoker going through with the MP spam, as the Deafening Blast on top of that, and down goes Shadowfiend. He has a buyback. He's not going to use it just yet, though. Gork, meanwhile, trying to live another hook, maybe. He gets pulled back. He's in trouble running away with the Manta. It looks like he's going to buy his distance to survive. Shadowfiend does buy back, by the way. You do see Terrorblade getting caught now. He has a Sunder. Can he get it off in time? Yes, he can. And Shadowfiend, he now needs to be a little bit careful. Karate Kid from the uphill. Meanwhile, the Tornado's coming out. The swap out on a Terrorblade. Keep the Terrorblade alive is the mission. And they will be successful, but the casualties in the back on the cask locking them down as Invoker and Vengeful will fall right there. And then Pudge, he's going for the port out, but he's going to be stopped. And he too will be dropped on top of that. No kill on Roshan. They don't need a stinking Roshan kill, though.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It was all going so good, but as soon as Shadowfiend activated the Satanic, they had to put so many resources into locking down the Shadowfiend, trying to kill him, and they ultimately did, but he had buyback, he had a shrine, and he could just immediately come back into the fight. Beautiful play by Darkseer yet again. Perfect time to initiate onto the Roche pit and getting that wall, and then following up, this Terrorblade was kind of like dancing around the wall. He was not really committing into it, and then the Darkseer ended up vacuuming the Terrorblade away from his team into the wall, but I mean, all you need is the illusion for that massive amount of damage that the Metamorphosis Terrorblade gives.
Yeah, classic example, kind of the split fighting going on right there. And yeah, the Satanic really making all the difference. I suggested earlier, maybe not the scariest of items, but you know what? Almost kind of eating my words right there, because clearly that item is what obviously not only kept him alive, but arguably won them that fight in the end. Because if he dies quickly off the bat right there without it, then that pace of the fight completely changes. I mean, obviously he did, but the fact he was able to, you know, get back so quickly and join back into the fight made all the difference right there. So we do have them claiming the Aegis on top of that now, and it looks like, by the way, he's going to be going a full-on Daedalus, so really trying to amp up that right click here as far as Shadowfiend is concerned. And then once that is finished, then we'll probably see Horde making much more of an aggressive push. Haven't really seen that from them just yet this game. No doubt that's the timing that perhaps they're waiting for. But level 25s are starting to make more and more appearances here. Shadowfiend obviously getting his, and sure enough, he gets his plus 150 attack range. Several other heroes in that 23 range, though, so start having impact here.
I'm surprised that Terrorblade hasn't gone for any evasion, because the reason that SF can get away with building a Daedalus as opposed to something like a Bloodthorn is because there's no evasion to be concerned about. The Luna hasn't had to build an MKB. Oh, BKB activated.
Yeah, he kind of forces him out. We've seen 3 do that several times. He vacuums almost as if he's going to go for a combo, and he's getting some BKBs to be used, so it's actually pretty good bait by him. And yeah, Spirit Breaker activating his, thus cooldown now for another minute, and down to 8 seconds here, as far as the duration goes.
And now our team's grouping up. Cheese is on the Darkseer, so he can really get away with doing these aggressive initiations. And with a Sheepstick on top of it, like, he is only giving them time. Oh, nice vacuum to the low ground.
That's beautiful. Yeah, they knew he was setting up for a hook attempt. Obviously, they have the vision there now. It is going to be destroyed.
No follow-up, though.
No follow-up. And sure enough, oh, the hook on the axe right there of that tick. Pulls him in. The most funkiest animation ever. He's still alive, though, the Crimson Guard. Helping to keep him alive in this phase. Will this turn around in favor of the Horde? No, it will not. Nixon will fall in the end. It took a damn while, but you know what? He's dead with no buyback, actually, so this could be critical, but yeah, you gotta say, man, this Pudge, he is making some large hooks this game.
That was hilarious. I've seen the Force Staffs before, and I think that was, I don't know whose Force Staff it was, because a very common thing to do against a Burrowed Nyx is, since they're using spells in your direction, they'll be facing your direction, so you can offensively Force Staff the mound and like slide it into your team. But yeah, I don't know whose Force Staff it was, but the recovery hook was hilarious to see that mound fly around the map.
Yeah, the animation pretty on point as far as being absolutely hilarious right there, but not so hilarious for the Nyx, either for the Horde. It's obviously, again, he's dead for another 30 seconds even.
And now I like how when they don't have the Aegis, they're like, oh yeah, let's
Now's
push.
the time, right?
This is a perfect opportunity.
Nyx is dead. Let's go. I mean, it's obviously good. Like, Nyx being dead does help, but they're not going to really be able to get enough pressure onto the tower right here. 15 seconds before resurrection, so... However, they are going to try to maybe make a play in the middle lane. Wow,
Terrorblade is really going in.
I thought that was an illusion for a second, but no, that was a real one, wasn't it? The vacuum back in, and here we go. Actually, Alucard, they're going to need to get a response out of this. He's still being chased down. Now, again, he has a Sunder, and here comes that supporting cast. Now, it looks like now the Horde needs to be careful not to overextend as they fall back, but pretty aggressive play right there.
Yeah, and I had mentioned how useful Reflection has been this game for replicating the auras of the Dire team, being able to get Presence of the Dark Lord, being able to get Lunar Blessing. But same thing is true for Horde with 33's Walls of Replica. You get the Vengeance aura from the VS, you get the all the aura, well, I guess there's only mainly one aura on the Terrorblade, the Assault Cuirass aura. But again, both teams are basically using each other's net worth against themselves.
Yeah, it's kind of funny with all the illusions being spawned, yeah. Just kind of helping the cause on either side. So I guess that's where you could argue, you know, maybe kind of canceling it out somewhat, but
yeah, to an extent.
That they're making use of each other, which definitely interesting to note.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. There you go. That's a good quote to top it all off. But what a game we have, though. Again, this is just the one-game series of our final quarterfinal matchup here, the European Open qualifiers, and definitely going the distance.
Oh, he gets scanned. This Invoker gets scanned, but he immediately goes into Ghost Walk. Huh?
Oh, gee. Yeah, that would have been an absolutely huge pickup. Does he even have a buyback? I guess he does, but no, he doesn't. That's right. A minute 20 before he can. God, that would have been huge. But he makes the escape as Invokers 10-2.
Yeah, and Radiant team bought enough time. Aegis has been reclaimed. Now there's only a cheese on Darkseer to be concerned about, which, since SF is working on this data list, Excalibur's not going to buy it yet because he needs buyback money. So I think that he should get the cheese, but right now 33 is sitting on it. I guess with a Satanic, you kind of have 2 lives to begin with, so...
Yeah. As long as you can activate it, which...
yeah.
Again,
which will be a little bit trickier now because Invoker has Scythe of Vice completed, so
good point.
It's delicate to be able to time it properly.
Good point right there, and of course that Octarine core is queued up. I know you were talking about that earlier, how he didn't have it yet, and I'm curious with that as, oh, that's a misclick on a shrine. Even the pros do it, man. Those shrines, I swear the hitbox on the shrines are
Charge?
huge. Oh wow, they are going in, aren't they? Tornado's gonna miss right there. Aki's gonna get caught initially. Are they gonna respond to the question? No, they're not. Witch Doctor's like, leave me to die, please. And he will certainly die. But he's dead for 40 seconds now. No buyback actually. But is this? Oh my God, Witch Doctor's dead. Let's push play. So I don't know.
Well, thankfully the lane is also pushed up. I think that's more what it is. It's like a, oh my God, the lane is actually on their side of the map. We should get some damage.
True.
It's just that Terrorblade needs to be careful about committing Metamorphosis, and right now he's just sending illusions down to the bot lane, doing some more chip damage from that siege we saw earlier. I haven't seen this Terrorblade use Metamorphosis in a very long time, to be honest.
Well, he may have the opportunity coming up right here. Definitely be using one. Another 5,200 gold about saved up, by the way. So, of course, has buyback, but... And now you kind of start to question, is there another item that maybe he's going to be thinking about here, other than maybe a Boots of Travel coming, but... Any backpack items that we can think of for the Terrorblade here that you think could potentially make sense? Because, I mean, he really has a full inventory.
Refresher is definitely the item of choice, but... Yeah, he needs buyback money desperately.
Pablo, scouting it out.
No gem. They have no detection.
Oh, they're going to open up. Invoker, he is going to get caught out right here. Big time. Out comes the spike here base with the pro. Gets hooked back though. Shadow Fiend, meanwhile, being turned. Going to get the Satanic off. He's being locked down. Actually, the 17 cycles off, and down goes the Shadow Fiend. He has a buyback, but will it be enough? In the background, they're going to call on a punch as well as the Spirit Breaker. Invoker was picked off. He buys back though, looking to join back into the fight. The illusion.
No Sunder.
But Terrorblade with no Sunder, he will end up falling. The lockdown onto Luna, however, so the cores on the Dire side are dying. And Witch Doctor's also picked out, so Karate Kid coming back in after that buyback and making a little bit of plays right there. Gets a double kill, but now he's going to be on the run himself and out of that fight. So another chaotic fight. I mean, numbers-wise, you definitely favor the Horde within the buyback situation, but lost both Shadow Fiend and Luna right there.
Yeah, but they have buybacks if necessary. Invoker spent a buyback, Spearbreaker spent a buyback, and effectively it was a team wipe. So definitely Horde favored right now. They're moving the Nyx Assassin around, but he's not going to be able to find a solo kill by himself. He's working on that Ethereal Blade. Actually does have the money for it, but again, buyback is paramount, so everything's just going to reset. But thankfully Horde still has their buybacks, so if one more fight goes poorly, they can recover, but if one more fight goes poorly for Slice and Dice, I can't say the same.
Nami, we could be kicking things off here with a pretty long game ahead of us, because something tells me this game still has quite a bit of life left in it.
Yeah,
How
I
those
think you're
fights
right.
have been going here, so another team obviously wanting to give in, and definitely with a lot of potential to still win this game. I mean, net worth chart has the lead for the Horde, but really, in a game like this, is that something that you're looking at? Because it really is just so even, it feels like.
Well, it actually substantially jumped up. Still, again, like 10,000 at this point. It's relative to the length of the game, and so I wouldn't consider it to be that severe, especially since not a single tier 3 has gone down yet, which is shocking.
Yeah.
56 minutes into the game, no shrines have been opened up, no tier 3s have been taken down. Although now Gork is moving in pretty aggressively into the mid lane.
Endurance run! Endurance run!
So I guess another Roshan, though, could definitely be in the works right here, and sure enough, both teams in that area, so no surprise. Yeah, Terrorblade, we do see he did get that minus 30-second Sunder cooldown. So has that 10-second Sunder now, so yeah.
I mean, in that previous fight, though, it was the same issue as the Shadow Fiend. The Shadow Fiend got perpetually crowd controlled. He was getting bashed up by the Spearbreaker and wasn't able to. Oh man, this is a ballsy
Comes
push.
into play right there. The vacuum again, no wall. They're baiting out the BKB. The wall finally comes out just on a Terrorblade. Split by big time. Excalibur's now joining the fight in the background. Darkseer will go down there. So Excalibur on the Shadow Fiend getting here pretty late. Pablo's locked down. Look at that Excalibur open, but he's just about dead just like that. Down goes the Shadow Fiend. He has a buyback as the Eclipse goes up, but Alucard with the Metamorphosis doing plenty of damage. Ake, the Death Ward, he's not going to live through that. He goes down. Down goes Luna. It's a cleanup in favor of Slice and Dice. The buyback on Darkseer not going to matter. Definitely favor for Slice and Dice. A 5-for-1 with the buyback used, and they're going straight for the base, baby.
You can't pull the same trick that many times in a row. That was the third time that Radiant has been taking a Roche, and 33 has jumped in for a fake initiation. At a certain point, they're going to call your bluff, and they're going to be like, whatever, man. I know you're just doing this to bait out our BKBs. We will fight you. I don't care. 33 didn't activate his Crimson Guard, didn't sheepstick anyone. He just blinked Shiva's vacuumed, and didn't even drop the wall, I believe. And so
he did at the last second, but he only got Terrorblade.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it wasn't like with the combo.
No.
Okay, yeah. So that kind of fake initiation got punched in the face this time because VS was ready on the trigger, immediately swapped out the Darkseer, and they just followed up on him. And Darkseer bought back promptly after, but his TP was on cooldown. So even though he did have a shrine available at the time, couldn't get there.
Daedalus finished on Shadow Fiend, but again, no buyback now for him, and obviously that's going to help plenty when it comes to the damage side of things. But yeah, talk about the response from Slice and Dice in that last fight. That really was something. And speaking of Shadow Fiend, I guess that was supposed to be yet another fake initiation as you're getting at, but they end up getting committed, and Shadow Fiend was late to the fight, and I think that was a big part of it, though. Again, they weren't really expecting to actually go in right at that second, and he was running in late. He finally got there. Not that it was a fault by any means, but when he did, all of a sudden he opened, and just like that, he just started dropping and couldn't do a damn thing. So another big aspect to that fight. Obviously, the Eclipse went off from Luna, but it just didn't matter at that point. The spread damage was way too much, way too little even, to be too effective. And obviously, big fight for Slice and Dice. One of the biggest fights we've had in the game, no doubt. As far as putting a team maybe a little bit ahead, but anyway, you see the net worth graph kind of explaining that. Or
the first significant spike for Slice and Dice in a while. But the flip side is that, to an extent, Slice and Dice are kind of capping out at this point. Terrorblade has 2 boots backpacked and is sitting low. He just ate his Moon Shard.
There you go.
So he is basically 6-slotted at this point. Whereas the Luna still has a long ways to go, I think. This, oh, well, never mind.
Just those damn illusions, but yeah,
just
Luna.
Those damn illusions.
She is trying to finish a MKB, I'm guessing. Yeah.
I don't know why Gork keeps putting on half of an item. It keeps juking me because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I would assume that's the case. Melee rack,
wow,
though.
it's a lot of damage on Invoker. This Daedalus is massive.
That tornado coming right back up, though, obviously using it right there, because the melee axe actually does stay alive, but yeah, the right clicks of Excalibur, pretty big. This hook is going to miss right there. You miss all the hooks you don't take, said Wayne Gretzky, though, so I'm going to keep on trying right here. BKB's popped by Vengeful, swaps it onto Luna. Gorg trying to run back immediately, though, with his own BKB being popped Jafar on the Vengeful. Eats the cheese, he's going to be fine. Out comes the Cryptic card from Darkseer. The meteor falling down. There's a vacuum, the wall coming out on top, and we got an illusion war, baby. It's like Clone Wars and Star Wars right here. The Axe Scepter effect of the Burrow from the Knicks. They get going a punch, but the retreat now by Slice and Dice. That Impale missing. Terrorblade getting caught. He does have a Sunder, of course, on a 10-second cooldown, and he's going back on a Gorg right here. Gorg caught in the ice ball, and he's in trouble. He goes down. Double kill coming out for Excalibur, meanwhile, on Shadow Fiend, but Luna staying dead, by the way. Spirit Breaker also staying dead for the other side.
This cask.
Really has a concern, though. The cask bouncing around, though, locking down Jafar. Gets the kill right there. The vacuum back in. Alucard, he has a Sunder. He's going to be using either the last second against Excalibur, and they're going toe-to-toe, but Excalibur going to come out on top. And Terrorblade goes down. Triple kill for Shadow Fiend, and there's the Aegis finally used on the Invoker. He's by himself. I don't think he's escaping from this one. Oh, maybe. Blink Dagger right into the Ghost Walk.
Wow.
Maybe he will escape. All right.
That's really impressive. He didn't even have Ghost Walk invoked, I don't think. He just immediately blinked out, and I thought that Ion Shell would have canceled the blink, but apparently the damage tick came too late. So that's actually really important that Invoker can get out, because he took that tornado cooldown, which means that he is going to be able to discourage this push for a fairly long time.
Does he have the Octarine, by the way? No, he doesn't have that yet.
No,
though.
not yet. He has the money for it. Oh man, top lane.
Oh, that's a big kill on a Pudge if they get it, because again, they don't have to worry about the hook then, of course, but they're not going to get it. In fact, it might come at a cost now. Nyx Assassin in trouble. The BKB popped by Shadow Fiend. Pudge going with the dismember on Witch Doctor, though. Sunstrike trying to finish off Ake. The hook will miss, however, and Ake will stay alive as they do take out Pudge. Again, he doesn't have a buyback. He's only dead for 40 seconds, but with no hook presence. And it's still not going to be enough to feel comfortable pushing, though. They don't have Luna, obviously. Not going to want to push without her, and they will start falling back now.
Yeah, normally I would have said that they shouldn't have taken that fight. Slices and Dices should have just backed out as soon as the Pudge got swapped in. But the way that they forced Horde to have to spend another BKB charge on the Shadow Fiend meant that as long as Invoker's alive, there's no safe way to push into this Radiant base.
Yeah, that tornado cooldown perhaps definitely, again, working out in the end for Invoker right here. And look at Invoker, by the way. He's changing his mind now. He's going to Lincoln Sphere instead of that Octarine Core, or even like a Refresher. Of course, I know it could be decent on him too, but like the of Lincoln's.
At this point, yeah, he's mainly concerned. Like I said, Invoker is the team right now. I mean, I don't mean to take away credit from anything else that Slices and Dices is doing, but if Invoker dies, then this base will get pushed.
Yeah.
But if Invoker survives, just Invoker, he can withstand it. And so if he gets blink sheeped by this Darkseer, the game is basically over for S&D. And so, yeah, I do like this Lincoln's quite a bit.
I love it, Tsunami. We're kicking off. You know, we were hoping that day 2 would be at least a little bit better. And we're getting it, man, right off the bat here. We got an epic hour-long plus game. And again, I'm not sitting here saying this is the best Dota 2 action we're ever seeing, but it's a good game. You know, it's back and forth. Sure, teams are making their mistakes, but that's bound to happen in games that last longer, of course, and end up being good in the end. So, yeah.
It's more exotic than other ultra late games that I've seen as well. Like normally you see a Luna in this situation, you're like, oh well, I just watched Glaives fly around for 40 minutes straight.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
no, this game, it's action packed.
There's been some downtimes, but lately it has actually picked back up. Sure enough, we had the middle phase that maybe was a bit of a downtime, but yeah, it's great early game and now great late game for sure, and that's going to continue with the illusion push right here at the top lane. So the Horde.
Nice scan.
Going to react. They scan them out, though. You're right. And BKB popped by Spirit Breaker very aggressively. He's going in, but is he too deep? It's the question. Look at that return damage. Another strike. He can't even get it off. He gets 3 shots there by Shadow Fiend. But at what cost? Shadow Fiend being locked out. In trouble. He's going to go down as well. No buyback. And that is huge now in favor of Slice and Dice. The Crimson card trying to live for Darkseer. You see Alucard is taking some good damage, though, as Luna for the back gun. They back him back in. Alucard will end up falling, actually. No, yes, he will go down to the end. He does have a buyback. Karate Kid almost dying as well. But yeah, couldn't get the Thunder off. The blink, it doesn't matter.
Wait, what?
What killed him?
What killed him?
It was a spiked carapace killed him somehow. Did he have a tornado launched out or something? That must have been it.
Don't
Or
know.
EMP, or just something. He did some source of damage right there, clearly.
It may have been mana burn, but that would be so lucky because it just turned to daytime, and so he just barely got the vision for it. I don't know what killed him.
Well, he
but
finds
has
back.
buyback.
But yeah, then now can they hold once again? You see Pudge just throwing out some random hooks right here. And we got cooldown, no act or anything like that to take advantage of. But there's those tornadoes. Oh, he actually blinked right into it. Awkward there for Nyx. However, again, good luck pushing against this. I mean, Terrorblade isn't up, but again, with just Invoker, as you're talking about earlier, Tsunami, I mean, that's enough to actually keep them alive. So sure, he doesn't have a buyback anymore now for the next 6 or so minutes, but they really can't push as he's up like that, so they will have to reset. And Roshan number 5, it looks like it's very, very possible now coming up for these two teams. Hey, nice double damage room, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw Shadowfiend in that last fight just drop Spear Breaker.
You, in the back of your mind, you're like, why didn't I activate BKB? Because that fight would have been that much more secured for the Dire team if he had a BKB.
True.
He did buy back in the end, and so that's another penalty, but he's basically 6-slotted, so it's not the biggest concern. He hasn't eaten a Moon Shard yet on the Shadowfiend, so there's still a little bit of room to grow. Still no BOT2s, but oh wow, they want to smoke up. Buybacks are down, but buybacks are down for both teams, so this is really risky. However,
right
more
down the
buybacks are down for Radiant. Invoker and VS both have no buyback.
Terrorblade sending out an illusion. We have to creep wave somewhat. Dark's here, he's going in though. There's a vacuum, no wall combo just yet. He's going to be dismembering himself. Perfect in the background. He's going for Ake, actually, a full hero. Where's the Terrorblade? Okay, he does have the Metamorphosis up. He's going toe-to-toe with the Shadow Fiend. Dark's here is picked up, by the way, so far the only casualty. But Invoker is getting low, but he barely will stay alive. Pablo cannot finish him off in that axe effect. Throwing out a random impale right there, but Terrorblade gets the kill on a Shadow Fiend as the Stunner used as well on a Gork to try to drop him. But he's going to barely live. The Force Spear trying to finish off. Maybe a hook. No, he doesn't have it up. Oh, the blade mail though takes out with the Eclipse activated of Gork right there. Now the Dismembered has the lockdown. Darkseer. Luna does have a buyback. Nice Shrine Pop though by Meet You Pop. And 3-3 is going to fall on top of that. So it's the game of just back and forth here for these two teams. And look at Terrorblade. He's going aggressive. He's going right to the bottom lane. Luna's going to have to buy back as she does.
Yeah, but Luna does not carry the same presence as an Invoker does. Without a Darkseer, I think Darkseer is the deciding factor in a high ground defense for Horde right now, because Luna can't clear these illusions very easily. She has glaives, but these Terrorblade illusions are so goddamn tanky right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage coming out, so obviously the racks being exposed, taking some good damage on the rain tracks already, but you see now pushing out the middle lane. They just really want to make sure to have the lanes push in, take advantage that way. But Shadowfiend's, again, he's staying dead for another minute right here. He's not going to be coming back up 3.5 minutes on that cooldown, so the middle rack will be finished.
They know that Shadowfiend doesn't have buyback. They don't know that Darkseer doesn't have buyback at all. Oh no, never mind. They do. Yeah, so they know that both of them don't have buyback.
Yeah, that was a dieback right there. That's right. So this could be the game. They could get mega creeps right here, and then how do you come back from that point? Obviously, so Jafar is going to be hooked back just in case. He was really fine, but taking some harassment right there. And now this melee racks will fall. So they ping towards the top. Again, with still 30 seconds on Shadowfiend and 50 seconds on Darkseer. Just doesn't feel like they're going to have enough fighting power here. Pablo's going to sit in that burrow. That they know he's there, though, with the detection. And they're going to try to do enough. There's the hook in. And see the spike carapace pop, but that should be enough of a lockdown in the background to take him out, though. Swap from Vengeful right there to help save his Evoker teammate who got kind of a little bit of a scary spot, but they're going for the Mega Creeps. Buyback on Nyx, by the way. That's going to be Mega Creeps, though. Or do you
They
think
shouldn't.
they're not
Horde
going
should
to
just
see?
sit back.
Yeah.
No. They can definitely fight against Mega Creeps, and I'm glad they're not taking another fight. But S&D's going to keep the pressure.
It's another hook, but no follow-up this time. Looking up right there.
Whoop.
Level 25 Pudge, by the way. 1.75 flesh heap crack strength. He has 4,500 life. No big deal.
No big deal.
That's absurd. All right, Roshan. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, I
Vengeful.
don't think this is necessary.
No. It could be risky, you're right. They commit to this and get clumped up as they are. There we go, the Darkseer vacuum. No wall though just yet. He has the wall to use. He wants to stop this rush, although they're pretty committed. As actually Terrorblade takes the hex right there, but it's gets on the center out on the Cork. Cork splits up, but Cork's gonna end up falling on the Luna right after that. The lockdown of Excalibur and Slice and Dice setting up for the victory. Now the final push onto the Horde right there, knocking them out. Good game, well played is called, and that will officially do it. Slice and Dice taking out one of the favorites here in the open qualifiers in the quarterfinals and moving on to the semifinals.
Yet again, at the very last moment, Excalibur did not activate his BKB before he got sheeped, and so he went in. He knew the enemy was in there because Darkseer got the intel and got